I say the door is open and you can leave. But to all those who could...
This is going to be a bit of a shameless plug for my book, which is in the description below. The book is called One Planet, One Life, and I'm getting asked so many questions that this part of the book would answer a lot of the questions, primarily about Japan here, which is in the picture behind me, because a lot of people are taking up Keir Starmer's offer. He said, if you don't like the changes we're making, the door is open, then leave the UK. A lot of people are leaving. I'll read from the book now. This is One Planet, One Life. Okay. Many people choose Thailand, Philippines, or somewhere similar, often due to the appealing currency exchange rates with Western currencies. You could live like a king with the Western currencies going so far. This didn't used to apply to Japan, which had a very strong currency, but the trend now is down for the yen. It is getting a weaker currency compared to Western currencies, which means the yen goes a lot further. You can buy a lot with pounds in yen. Now the Japanese yen is depreciating so much that it's as good, if not better, than other Asian countries for Westerners. You can go to 100 yen sushi bars, which can be about 30 pence or 40 pence at the moment. It's so cheap to have a meal in Japan. So also consider having other bug out options in other places. For us, we choose Japan as our plan B, which we love. My wife's Japanese, of course, which is why that's why we love. We've got family there. Japan has very cheap housing, even for free. As unbelievable as that sounds, it is absolutely true. There are now hundreds of thousands of houses becoming empty every year in Japan. And there's 100,000 last year, another 100,000 this year, there'll be another 100,000 next year. These are new houses that used to have someone living in. They've got all the furniture, kitchen, every bathroom, it's all working, it's all good, and it's just becoming empty. Think of that now. There are hundreds of thousands of homes becoming empty every year in Japan as more older ones die, or perhaps go into a care home and then die, leaving the previous property empty. There are more older ones dying, moving out, than new babies being born. There is very little immigration, plus they are still building millions of new homes every year, which compounds the problem. Isn't it crazy? They're still building new homes when all these 100,000 houses becoming empty every year, and they still building, for some reason, in Japan, people like a new home to be built. So it compounds the problem. There's a lot of empty homes becoming onto the market, becoming empty. The result is something called unoccupied property banks. Akaya is the Japanese word for empty property, and akaya. What happens when older ones die is that the nearest surviving relatives have the option of inheriting it, but many times they choose not to, because the burden of them having to pay land tax, which is prohibitively expensive in Japan. It's not prohibitively expensive, but it's about the same as the UK. It is getting very expensive. Even if you don't live there, second home tax is very, very expensive. Or like an empty home, if you own that, you have to pay land tax on it. So what happens if they say no thank you? The nearest surviving relative have the option of inheriting this property, and they say no thank you, I don't want it. They don't have to have it. It's not like immediately they have to have it. They can say no thank you. So what happens if nobody claims this property? It ends up on the local Akaya bank, which is a word for empty home list, or an empty home bank. You can get these lists of Akaya banks for free, and it's very enjoyable pursuit looking around them all. That's what we do. We're going to hire a car, or if you've got a vehicle, or you could probably do it on the trains and a bike or something, but go around looking at all these empty properties. Look around them all. Here's the thing though. If you do claim an Akaya home that you like as your own, there are then large land tax obligations that you have to pay. There is a way, however, this is a life hack, to start the process off, which means you have first claim to it. If others are interested, you were first before them on the list. You can then unofficially move in and live there without having to pay the land tax. You could say it's squatting, but it's one step above squatting, because you do have a claim on it. You've started off your name. It's not just squatting. You're squatting with the option of claiming it as yours. If someone else shows interest and wants to claim for themselves, then you have first option, which means you then have to start paying the land tax if you don't want to go down that route though. If you complete the process and claim it as your own property and don't pay the land tax, then you may or may not have the local city claim it back. That's the worst that can happen. But some people say they don't do this as there is a growing list of similar Akaya homes, and if someone is living in one. So I'm not sure what happens. I think some people have gone through the whole process, claimed it as theirs. They are on land registry that it's theirs, and they don't pay the land tax. What happens then? I don't know. A lot of people in the UK are not paying council tax, a lot of people. And I think other countries, I don't know. I hear in America people are not paying the land tax. What happens? Does the government claim that property as theirs and then kick you out? I don't know. So yeah, you will get letters saying you have to pay, but they spin the letters. It's a civil matter, not a criminal one. It's a bit like squatting, but much better because you have the option of claiming it as your own if you want to. My prediction is that the population decline trend will continue and even accelerate. That is true, that is happening. There's going to be a couple of 100,000 new empty homes becoming empty, just sitting there empty. Most of them just stay empty. And eventually grass and trees grow through the window. You know, these properties just becoming empty. The government should be happy if someone's living in there, taking care of it. Local city offices will be overwhelmed with larger and larger Akaya banks, empty home lists. They would surely prefer someone living there looking after the place than nobody. Now, travel in Japan. Of course, Akaya are mostly in suburban areas. You're not going to get Akaya like in Shinjuku, in Akihabara, where lots of people want to live. You will unlikely find them in urban areas. Maybe this will slowly change as population decline intensifies. I would can I just, you need to come in here? Okay, let me just. Right, where was I? Of course, Akaya are mostly in suburban areas. You will unlikely find them in urban areas. Maybe this will slowly change as population decline intensifies. I think it will. I think there'll be even unclaimed properties like in high population urban areas. I would personally prefer to live in suburban areas anyway, with the occasional trips into the city. This is very easy if you can get to the nearest train station, maybe an e-bike or something. E-bikes are very popular in Japan, very cheap, and nice electric assist bike is brilliant. There are several life hacks on Japanese trains where you can travel and save a lot of money. There is a good system in Japan Rail. Some rapid trains only stop occasionally at large stations, so you go a very long distance in a very short time, and slower trains that stop at every station. I'm going to tell about one life hack. I got some other life hacks which I can tell you about Japanese JR trains, but it costs about 100 yen. It's like 40p or 30p for the cheapest ticket that will get you into the station, and then you can go anywhere on the rail network. That cheapest ticket is only supposed to take you like 1 or 2 stops probably, but once you're inside, when you get to the other side, you're supposed to pay a couple of thousand yen or whatever to get you out. But what if you don't have to come out? This ticket will get you on at your local original station at the end of the day. There are a lot more life hacks that I can tell you if you want to email me, and always making sure there is no loss, harm or injury. So, I used to live just outside Tokyo and would get the rapid trains into the city using these life hacks. I was a self-employed English teacher and would arrange a diary full of English students, one after another, would meet me in the food hall in Tokyo Station. That's inside Tokyo Station without going outside the barriers. This is a very enjoyable time being paid to talk to people. Being an English teacher is a very good job. Then, so I'd get the rapid train. I explain it instead of reading it from the book, but I've listed it all in the book. I'd get in my local JR station, which was near my home, like 50p, 40p to buy the ticket, which gets you beep. You go through the gate and you're inside the JR network then. Now, I go in rapid train all the way into Tokyo, and Tokyo Station is like a town in itself. It's a small little place without going outside the barrier. There's shopping centre, food halls, all these shops, all these places to eat and meet up with people. And I used to have all my students come and meet me. It was near to exit 11. There's a big food hall. There's all these tables. Nobody minds you sitting there because there's all the different stalls of paying for that. And there's free drinks. You can go and have water. You can fill your water bottle up. Sit there, and I'd have all my students meet me, half an hour lesson, one after the other. After my last lesson, I would get the train back to my original station, and that 30 pence ticket beat would get me out at my original station. It's a very cool life hack. There are several other life hacks on Japanese trains. You can travel and save a lot of money. There is a good system on Japan Rail, and some rapid trains only stop occasionally. I've read that. costs about 100 yen, 30p for cheapest ticket that gets you to the station. You can go anywhere on the rail network. This ticket will get you out at your original station at the end of the day. So you can go all around it as long as you don't go outside. It only costs 30p. There are a lot more life hacks that I can tell you if you want to email me, and always making sure there's no loss, harm or injury and you stay in honour. Nobody loses anything. I used to live just outside Tokyo and would get the rapid trains into the city using a few of these life hacks. I was a self-employed English teacher and would arrange a diary full of English students, one after another, would meet me in the food hall in Tokyo Station. This is a very enjoyable time, being paid to talk to people. It's the best job in the world. People are paying you just to talk to them. They want to practice their English, and I just love talking. Then I get the rapid train home, cycle back from the train station. So I would recommend looking for some akaya just outside the city or large urban area, and try to find one not too far from a train station. Ideally, cycling distance to a train station, and there's train stations all over Japan. You can get a local train to the nearest large station that you can then get the rapid train all the way into the city. There is an abundance of wild food on planet Earth, and Japan is no exception. Wild game and seafood can be caught in traps. If there are food shortages, you can be self-reliant, and that's true of most of these houses. Most people living just outside the city, there's an abundance of wild food, and I love it. So I've got a lot more that's in the book, and I've got some more life hacks which are a bit too sensitive for YouTube. If you're interested in Japan, if you're interested, then please email me. I'd love to share them with you.